Happy fucking holiday. Happy fucking holiday. Happy fucking holiday. Hope you got some good shit. What up, Charles?
How you doing? It is Friday night. It is time for Guitar Safari, and that's Seth.
Eddie can never be replaced, especially not by a little guy that thinks he can dance. Oh, you want to see somebody dance? You want to see somebody dance? I'll show you some goddamn dance moves. Oh shit! Yeah, you can't do that, James Brown.
Oh, I knew that was going to be an issue. I knew it was going to be an issue.
It was on the top. It was on the top of his mind. That's all I'm saying. We figured that it's on the top of his mind. So, Merry Christmas.
Well, it is Friday. It is 8:00 Central.
Oh boy.
9:00 Eastern.
Okay.
And I'm guessing
7:00 specific. No, 6:00 in the specific time zone. Mm-hmm.
All right. And it's time for Guitar Safari. And this is our New Year's show because by the time we get to next Friday, we'll be in the new year already.
Yep. I got to see my Uncle Tommy. My Uncle Tommy, he used to be a professional runner, and he's really good looking. So we just always say that he's very dashing.
I say.
Yeah. Seeing Tommy, that was great. That was good.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
All right. Yeah. Who did you see this over this holiday season? You know? Who did you see? Anybody? And what did you eat? You know?
It's just been, just kind of a quiet Christmas here, just the family.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. All right. Oh, should we say hi to people? Did I interrupt that? I'm sorry.
We probably should say hi to people.
All right.
So let's.
You know what vegetable is the most nice to people? It's sweet potato. Yep, that's correct. Yes, it is. I may or may not have received a dad joke book for Christmas, but I'm not just claiming that I did or didn't, but yeah, so what are you drinking? You might need it.
So Earl is first in the chat. Let's know what we're drinking, and apparently Seth is 6 in already.
First sip though. First sip of a beer. It's brewed in Fairfax.
Charles has a Guinness, so the last one.
Yeah. Oh, the last Guinness. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Delicious. Thank you, Earl, for asking. What are you drinking, Earl?
That's right. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to spike the eggnog, he says. So maybe he's got some eggnog with him. Who knows?
It's not my favorite. So these guys, they're right down the street from my house, and I like neighbors, and I like beer. It's not my favorite. Town and Country IPA, 6.6%. It's just like a West Coast IPA, and it's just it's okay.
Yeah. And then we got Terry 3Gs. He's saying you're drinking volume 1.
I'm drinking volume 1.
One tone, one volume.
Vodka 1. Volume 1 vodka.
Yeah. And our buddy Herb of Fireside Studios saying hello, friends. Herb has got a long form video out this week, 4 minutes in length, and an awesome song. So if you haven't been over there yet, you need to get over there and check it out.
Wait, is that his song that he's playing? 4 minutes?
No, he did a cover, and it was just really good.
I'll take it. I like it. People doing covers, showing what they got, doing the thing. That's fun.
And Randy Crooks is here with us saying hello. And he says his resolution is to live life to its fullest. You can't screw that one up. Well, you can, but.
Yeah. We don't make resolutions, I don't think, in our household. We make affirmations or positive things that we want to try to do, but not to say, oh, I'm going to do better at this because I failed at that. We try to stay away from that and just go towards what we want to succeed at and what we want to provide more time to every year, you know? But yeah, I said hi to Randy over the holiday, man. I'm happy. I'm glad, Randy. Mm-hmm.
And we got our buddy Paul McNary here. He's saying, Yo,
What is
Sherman.
happening? No, what Sherman was just here.
He said, Yo to Sherman. He said,
Yo to Sherman. Okay.
Yeah, Yo to Sherman. And to you and I as well. No greeting for Eddie, though.
Eddie. Eddie's so sad. Aww. You know what Eddie said? Eddie thinks that is. Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horseshit. New edition.
Speaking of Eddie Faye is in the chat. Hello there, my friend. Yeah. There you go.
Eddie Faye. Hell yeah.
And everyone's favorite music-in-law, Ryan Hall.
What up? Ryan Hall gets a hug.
Don't confuse him with that other guy.
Hugged him with the cat on his chest. Just crushed the cat. But cats are durable, as far as I know, especially kittens. They're pretty durable. They can bounce back from stuff.
For sure. And they're just going at it in the chat. And my brother Ed's there, and he says, hello, Charles.
What up, Eddie? What up, Ed?
Ryan Hall, Eddie Faye, Earl, Paul, and Herb of Fireside Studio.
Nice.
And I'm sure he's saying hello. He's going to say hello to everybody else that enters the chat as well.
I got to see my Uncle Jimmy. My Uncle Jimmy, his Christmas, he is a kind of a famous baker who has won a bunch of awards. And I asked him, I was like, dude, he's like, it was a piece of cake. Yeah. Yep.
I knew it was coming. I was just,
I'm sorry. It's on its way.
Yeah.
So that happened. Yep. Jimmy, good old Jimmy, baking the cakes for us, making pies. Cousin Jimmy James. Who else showed up?
Oh. Let's see. Sorry, I was searching for Tone has made his way in. Hello there,
Brian.
Brian is getting real close to 1,000 subs. So if you're here, you're watching, and you've been over there and you've enjoyed it, and you haven't given that fellow a sub yet, go ahead. And if you haven't been over there, get over there, check it out.
And if you are subbed, what you could do, and I was thinking about it, I need to do it, is you always have one or two friends that you might share a video with. Hey, check this one out, right? And you bump them over a video that they might not even watch YouTube as much as you do, but you bump them onto my brother's one of them. I'll send him he's not really much of a guitar guy, but I'll send him some shit now and then.
And the West Coast is here with us. Trev is here. Hello there, Trev.
What is up, Trev? Mm-hmm.
And the wild man of YouTube, Hobo Rody, is here with us.
What up, Hobo? Dialing in some amp tones.
And the grandfather of many YouTube channels, Ben Coombs. Welcome in.
Oh yeah, I saw that that James Brown doll, and I thought to myself, it's like, oh damn, it's so good.
It was too much. I was so beside myself.
No, but it's something that will work forever. It's something that never dies. And even during Christmas, I was holding the presents, and everyone, when I opened it, I was like, oh, I'm really hoping that this is a James Brown animated doll, because that's what I need now, apparently, to keep up with the Joneses. So.
Well, we got Martian Murray here in the chat with us.
What up, Martian? What's cracking?
And Time Surfing, all the aliens are in together because Time Surfing Alien came in right after him.
They were right next to each other last week.
Yep. They, they have a longer distance to travel. So
yes, they're coming from.
I'm thinking maybe there's a meeting going on there.
Does take a minute to get here from.
Yep. And hello there, Richard Clark. He's saying, I wish I would have seen this early. I would have brought people over from Phil's. Well,
what? Oh, from Phil's? Yeah, that is a thing that is kind of, we're a little bit after Phil's. And I'm wondering if we ever did get run over from Phil's 1,000 people. But here's what we don't want. If you notice, we're low subscriber level channels, right? But we tend to get like kind of cool people hanging out, like probably Phil's hanging out, or somebody's hanging out and chilling on the DL. but we don't need 1,000 people.
Well, Jessica Alba used to show up every week religiously. Granted, she was lurking, but she was here for Quentin James. Now that Quentin James is live, at the same time we are, she has this dilemma: which channel to watch. Yeah. And we got Dastardly Dave here with us. And Matt from McCollum Music is here. Welcome in. And William De Silva, Brother William, how you doing? Look what he did with the word. Just saying. Hey, Ken, how are you? Hip Metal Works in the chat here. Ian's Guitar Shack. And little Jimmy Brown.
Did I go away and come back, or did we both go away and come back?
You kind of you went quiet for a while, and you were blinking. So, a little blinking on and off.
So, I show full internet bars, but maybe my internet might be iffy. We got a windstorm coming in, so I could go blanking out on you guys at any moment, apparently.
Well, my computer's been a little weird. It's been weird today as well. So,
your computer's doing, because every now and then when you talk, you go when you talk.
Good to know. It could be on my end too.
It could be me too. Who knows? But windstorms are terrible in my area because it got so many trees, and they haven't underground all the lines by us. What was messed up is they did it around the corner, down to about 80 feet from where So we're probably next. But
so you're next. They're coming to bury you.
Squirrel.
Is that what you're saying? They're coming to bury you.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully I'll make it through. I'll be fine.
All right. Well, Bo, Guitar Man 45 is here. Welcome in. We got that Steve Reeser guy.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. What up, Steve? Yep.
I was thinking you might have had some of that leafy stuff before the show.
I know, of course not.
Hey, Dennis Ellis, welcome in. Welcome in, my friend. Never. And we got that BC Rich guy. And he's saying you seem pretty mellow today.
Steve Rezer is a fan. He joins here. He's also a football coach. And came over, he was hanging out, and he took off in a hurry. He's like, I gotta go to the bank. And I said, why? He said, I need to get my quarterback.
Welcome in, Michael Krause. Michael Krause wants to know how we feel about Central Time again.
Central Time, it's like this, it's like a flyover time zone. Like, Central. Who even I mean, come on. No, I'm just kidding, Charles. It's very centralized, it's very cool. We should get a list of cool people that live in Central Time, just so you can defend yourself.
Right? If nothing else, Ferd Burfel lives here.
Does he live in Central Time?
That's right.
Then you've got defense. You've got people here at your side, which is all that matters. As long as we get people.
Zach Song has made his way in. Hello there, my friend.
Zach, never holding back, grabbing that big 6-string off his back and playing pling, pling, pang, 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 pling, pong, pong. Probably sounds better than that, though. Sorry, Zach. Sounds good.
Wow, we must be way behind in chat because Hobo Roadie.
It's okay. We're going to catch up by the end of the show. That's all that matters. We don't have a topic anyway.
Yeah, we ain't got nothing. Let's see. I'm just kind of scooting down here trying to get through some of this.
So I was sitting there with my niece on my lap, and we're enjoying Christmas, and we're having cocoa. And
there's John.
And she says, Uncle Seth, how come Peter Pan is always flying? And I said, because he never lands.
And Blue Mox is in the chat. Hello there, my friend.
I said, go get Uncle Seth another beer, Delilah. Don't you tell me that they're all gone, because I'll send you down to the store.
It is here. Hello there, Billy.
Anyway, she knows where the fridge is and where the local store is. Damn it. She's 7. 7-year-old girls are old enough to go buy liquor.
Hey, Lasawa's here. Made his way in. Let's see. There he is, Gear Junkie 35. Hello there. He's puffing away. Uh-oh. Well, Sylvia treated himself to a new Vola for Christmas. And he's saying it's pretty neato. And Gear Junkie 35 bought himself a used Sigma 28. And he loves it. Let's see. And that is about it. We are caught up with the chat now. Now you can't hear you at all. So, nope. Well, you just keep talking away as you work on it, and when we hear you again, we'll know. All right, so folks, tonight we're talking about it is getting to be the New Year's, and we get talking about the New Year's. People start thinking about resolutions, right? What are you going to do differently in the new year? And so, what do you got? What are your resolutions for the new year? Now that things have gone up. Oh, and by the way, for all our Canadian friends, I hope you enjoyed Boxing Day yesterday. Yep. See, Ryan Hall is putting it out. We lost the sound. Ben says, everyone puffs during the show. It really helps. Billy really went splurging. He bought himself a capo. But what he's not telling you, he's got all these attachments. It does everything. Hello there, Mark Taft. Welcome in. And Gear Junkie 35 says he finds that a lot of musicians, they're into cameras as well. It's true. Tend to be. Gear Junkie 35 also says, different from 2024, he's talking about everything. Do I need little Jimmy as a co-host? We'll see here in a minute, Ben. All right, and let's see. We got a guy. Do we have sound?
Yeah, you got sound.
We got sound.
It's
all
just a good fucking interface, man, that just decides to set. I think it's just a terrible cable to the interface that we had just discussed before. And with a bad cable problem, you can't just try to fuck with it. So I just unplugged it, and then nothing would reset. So I came in and came back out.
Well, Herb's son is, I just want to stop you there for a minute. Herb's son is home from the hospital. He is getting better by the day, but Herb is going to go ahead and jet. Herb, have a great evening. Tell your son he's stopping by, Herb. And we're sending him all the good vibes.
Fuck yeah, we are. Oops, there's a good vibe right there.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, Billy is going to lose some weight. That drunk and stupid is no way to go through life.
Right?
Nice reference. Nice reference.
Yeah, let's give some love out to his son. Hopefully he's feeling better and getting through it. Because
that's right.
That's some bullshit. So, so what are you going to do for the new year guitar-wise, Charles? You're finishing up the Spread Eagle caster.
Let me address this right here. Yeah, Ed, glad you got it. Not saying anything more.
Nice. Okay.
He bought himself another guitar, and he seems to be he thinks he's going to be pretty happy with it. So we'll see. Well, differently, I'm thinking I am going to be doing more fabric tops this year than last year.
Start cranking them out.
Yeah, we kind of slowed it down quite a bit. There were some gaps and things. Now I've got the filler projects on hand for when we don't have client guitars in, and so it's just and I've got my schedule a little bit better under control, so I'll have that time out in the workshop. So
yes, and then just start. If you're doing one, do two, and if you're doing two, I guess you could do three. It gets to be about being able to afford all the parts and getting buying. a lot more stuff. But then you buy in bulk and you get better deals on stuff.
Well, I can work on multiple guitars right up until I get to the point of spraying clear. Once I spray clear, it's got to be from there. And it's really the longest part of the process, right? So once we get to spring, once we spray the clear, it's all the wet sanding and the buffing and all that, and that has to be done because the clear I use, it has a hardener in it. So you can work with it.
It's not like nitro that I use that can be layered on, and you can really you actually have to take your time to let it cure before you can mess with it. It's almost the opposite. But
this has got a hardener in it, and I can work with it 3 or 4 hours after I spray. But again, with that being said, I need to be very careful.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But once it gets past 24 hours, there's a lot of things you can't fix.
I thought of shooting that same poly that you use over one of my the hand rubbed oil finish, and wondering how that would work out. I'm just worried that the moisture and unless you let that oil dry out for like 6 months or something, you know what I mean? It might react underneath there.
I don't think you need to wait 6 months, but you may want to wait if you're going to stain it like that and introduce all kinds of moisture into the wood. I'd wait at least a week.
Oh yeah. I usually, for sure, a week. And then you can buff it and make it like super almost crystallized before I sprayed it, so it would be super hardened. But I just had never done it, so I wouldn't know long term. You know what I mean? That even Gibson finds shit out long term. There's a whole thing with the whole run of a very expensive Murphy Lab guitars that were an early version of the paint, and now it just peels off.
Yeah.
It's just whole chunks of it peel off, which is not the relic look you want. But so I don't want that experiment. If I do that and then the guitar sells and I haven't experienced doing it and having that guitar for a few years, I wouldn't know if down the road something bad was going to happen, and then it comes back and somebody says, fucking this happened and that happened. And you know exactly when that would happen, Charles? The same day that you got a big power bill or something, or your transmission flops out on you on the Geo, which would never happen because the Geo that car was unstoppable. Started up the other day. I mean, we had to jump it, of course, because I hadn't charged up the battery separately anyway.
Oh my!
Long story short, a little bit of power from the other car, but started sounding good. Actually, started up and sounded better than the car that jumped it. Just saying.
Oh my!
At idle.
Well, Symmetry says he's gonna practice 660 minutes of practice. That's 2 hours a day, more or less. He can't get his caps lock off. I love it.
166 minutes a week is the perfect amount. I say that's what I prescribe to the kids. Yep.
Yeah, and Ian's Guitar Shack his goal is to keep his guitars more clean because you get more than one of them and they start gathering dust and you gotta take care of them.
A lot of spots. There's a lot of smudges going on in this room right now that I probably should address if I had 30 minutes to unsmudge everything. But anyway, I'll get around to it, as it were. I did buy my little nephew and my mom both got one spray from Music Nomad because my mom does ukulele. She's gotten a lot of nice 8-string ukuleles, and then my nephew has a Presley and another guitar, so it gave him the one spray too. And the F1 oil comes in a little pack.
Mm-hmm. Michael Krause's answer is actually really good, and I'm going to take part of this prescription myself. He's going to cover all the bases. He's just going to get all his shit together.
I'm going to get my shit together finally. This year it's going to happen. Delilah, I swear this year it's going to get Uncle Seth another beer. This year it's going to happen.
Well, and Ben has no gear goals for 2025, but he almost bought himself a Gretsch the other day.
Well, that's a good gear goal.
That Brandywine Gretsch. Oh, I just got around to the video today, and it was beautiful, except for the knobs.
Oh, you didn't like the knobs? What they
It's
have
got
just
those
the
weird
pointers,
Gretsch
not
knobs
the
on this
G.
plastic. No, you Gretsch, you got to have the chrome Gretsch knobs.
With the G and the arrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's a non-negotiable.
They changed it to just the arrow. I think at some point it just has. It doesn't have the G, or there's another one with the G, without the G, just the arrow. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know a lot about Gretches. Never owned a Gretsch. Or get this, out of the over 100, or actually right now, exactly 100 guitars that I have bought or sold on Reverb, not one of them was a Gretsch. What? Come on.
I wish I would have saw this comment when I was talking about it.
Oh, yeah. There's hardener. Honey, I'm just out of my hardener. Oh, it's coming. eBay. Oh, eBay.
Wayne McConnell's got it. Wayne McConnell's in. Hello there, Wayne. He says, "Sorry, fellas, I'm late downstairs working on a piano cutting board for cutting board SG project." So,
Oh, yeah.
and so that's a really darn good reason for being late.
Wayne, do you have a plunge router? And if so, what plunge router do you use? Because I'm going to be buying. I was thinking about buying a DeWalt handheld plunge router with the easy. It's got this little thing, you just hit it and it slides right down, and you can get it corded or cordless. I kind of like the corded because a router, you want it to be full power all the time. You know what I mean? You don't want the batteries start to kind of kick down and give it less power. Anyway,
There you go. I love this from Ben. Wait, you guys clean your guitars?
occasionally. What was it that Randy said? Seth something.
Oh, okay. Randy said, "Seth, do not put poly on. In my opinion, I love the true oil you put on mine."
Thank you. You know, I was thinking that because this is this one's starting to come out pretty darn good. The more and more coats you get it, and then after like 4 coats, I start to do it with a little bit of 1500 wet dry as I hit it with the. Let me get it to where I can get this. Hopefully you can see the shift in the wood. There we go.
Oh, there, Mitch Heyman. What in the Mitch Heyman is going on
What
here?
in the Mitch Heyman is happening around here?
It's looking good.
It's looking okay, and except the back pieces are very unsimilar pieces of mahogany. Oh well, it is what it is. I like it though.
It's looking good. I like
The
it.
front is really cool. I like it. I mean, it's very flamey. So I think I'm going to join the neck in the next day or two.
All right. Well, Earl has this great comment. He says, "I got my shit together last year. I can't remember where I got out. So you got to
I did finally this year start doing set necks. I said I was going to do set necks. This is just true oil on the maple.
Mm-hmm.
And then this, I don't like the fact that the scar joint really reveals itself. But that's not true.
Anytime you put a finish on it, it stands out a little more. All the little differences in the grain stand out more once you put any kind of gloss on it.
And the headstock will have the Presley logo. I'm just going to leave it squared like that with the Presley logo, and then we've got the truss rod adjuster down there. It'd be a cool little guitar.
So Guitar Man 45 is going to be finishing off all the gear you bought in 2024.
Oh, nice. Okay, list it off. What'd you get?
And then he's going to launch he's making sure he's going to launch that mission, right? To put the band back together, get the venue open, all that. So,
hell yes, get that band back together. Where's Jimmy and Tommy? Are they in the band?
They are all there. He's got
All right.
pretty much. He's got the band pretty much together. He's working on getting the venue all the way there. So
We're getting the band back together for the first time we ever practiced together. Sorry.
So Ben was saying, everyone should own a Gretsch or 3, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. And Gear Junkie 35 saying Everclear and Brian Setzer made him need a Gretsch, not a want.
No, I get it. So here, my buddy Todd plays Gretches a ton. He's like me. He builds killer guitars for himself. And he plays Gretches a ton because they're so good. And he's always showing me. But he plays such good Gretches that can never keep up with that guy. So I don't know. I feel like I do have a couple cool guitars. I got a cool SG. I got a cool, really cool Carvin. And I got a cool Strat. But like they're all vintage and amazing. But I don't have a Gretsch. I see them. And I see good deals on them. If I had more money, I would buy one. I would say that. I would definitely buy one if I had more money. I saw that was really cool up here locally, that if I had the guy wants I think $5,500 for it, but if I had $4,000 that I could spend, I would hit him up. And I truly feel that it would be a good investment because it's something that I feel like in 40 years from now will still be worth at least what it is worth now. Mm-hmm. Like you'll never lose money on it, but you'll probably make money. Is a amazing luthier copy of a original Bigsby guitar.
There you go.
And it's like really well done, and it's really beautiful wood, and you can tell and I looked up a couple of the others from the same luthier, and some of them sell for like $12,000. Mm-hmm. And this one, the guy wants $5,000, so he might be taking a big hit on it already. Maybe he bought it for $8,000 or whatever. But that would be a guitar that I think would be cool.
For sure.
It was one of the first. It's like the Merle Travis one. And that to me is like, that's cool.
Marcia Murray said he had a Cadillac green Gretsch. It was nice. And I love Gretches in Cadillac green. I'm just saying. Just
totally.
Easy now.
Yep.
I'm still trying to find that Cadillac Gretsch that from years ago that I should have bought that day and I didn't.
Oh, don't drag yourself over those coals all the time. I mean, I get it. There's so many things that there's a guitar that is out there right now that I feel like I should go get because it's a should have bought when I saw it. Mm-hmm. Guitar that's been out there for a long time that I think I've told you before that there's a potential that it could just be a lead to a scam, or it's such a good deal that people think it's a lead to a scam, but it's a Carvin beautiful guitar for like $700 or $800.
Oh yeah, we talked about this one before, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's still out there because I look for Carvins all the time. I'm thinking maybe, but I don't know. I can't grow. I can't justify growing my damn guitar collection. What I need to do is grow the deck in front out of my house. I need to build a deck, or I need to be doing stuff like that with the dollars that I have. I need to turn into either concrete pavers or wood, one or the other. You know what I mean? I can't be buying a bunch of, but I do buy guitars, which is great. And you know this, Charles, is we get to mess with guitars in our hobby in a way that we don't make a ton of money off it, but we make a little bit of money off of our hobby, which is better than having a hobby that only costs you money.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Because there's a lot of hobbies that only cost you a ton of money, and I've had them in the past, and when I worked and made a lot of money.
But I find that even though I'm making a little money with this hobby, I'm spending more too.
Because everything you want to improve what you're doing to get better, so you want to get better tools, and you want to get
exactly
more knowledge. You want to,
like
I say, aspiration for this year is this year in 2025. I want to make my first handmade neck. So I've made my first handmade body. And I did in 2024 have it finished before the break, where I had routed the neck pocket and routed everything with a router and done the body contour. I'll show it to the chat. I'll bring it home and do all that later at the end of January or middle of January. But it's the 2x4 Castro 2.0. So this year has got the contour carve, and it's got done with a router instead of just doing with the with a screw, with a drilling and then hand chiseling all the pockets and everything, which was the real rudimentary way to do it. So it's the 2.0, and it's looking really good. But this year I'm going to make a neck as well, and I'm going to buy a router and just start making my own bodies and doing the whole thing.
That's good. That's good. It's a good goal.
Right? Why not? I mean, because that way, when I do get around to retiring, I can just do that all day long. Is like from the wood, from scratch. I have I'll have the hardware, the frets, the truss rod, and then fucking everything else. Even start maybe winding my own pickups and doing all that, because an inexpensive 3D printer nowadays, you can make your own bobbins, you can make your own pickup rings, you can make all kinds of stuff.
Interesting.
Become your own little home 1x1 facility, just doing it the way you want to do it.
Well, searching for Tone, he noticed that I hit 500 subs, which has kind of been an interesting week.
What?
A fella hit 500 subs, then the next day he lost a sub, and then gained a sub.
Oh,
so it's been like going back and forth every other day. So it's been 500, 499, 500,
right.
500, 499.
Now 500, if you have a certain amount of watch time, you can actually monetize.
Yes, and the fella does have the watch time. So,
oh, that's great. So you could actually monetize and make no money.
Yeah. Mitch Heyman says he's going to be a no-show on the Charles Green show today. He's got the RSV virus, and I know my wife had something, and she gave it to me. I spent, the whole Christmas holiday pretty much being sick.
Dude,
so, okay.
I'm so sorry. The RSV is fucking on death on your lungs. So
Take care of yourself, buddy. Take care of yourself.
You feel like you can't breathe. You feel like you can't catch your breath. I get it. Do the inhaler thing. I mean, you guys always hear my lungs are not the best because I'm a puffy puffer. I just hope for the best. Try not to die is what I say. Just try not to.
Sure. Got to take care of yourself, Mitch. I hope you feel better real soon.
Charles, do you know why my wife and I decided we should start going to the gym more?
Why is that?
Because we want our relationship to work out.
Okay.
Yep.
I should have saw that one coming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that.
Yep, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. That internet, that's terrible. But I'm just saying, we just really want it to work out.
Yeah, Ryan says, Mitch, you got to take care of yourself, brother. Ryan had pneumonia a couple weeks ago, and he's still
what you can't do is let people breathe on you. You got to be like, oh, this guy today at the shop and at the Safeway getting my groceries. You know how it is. People are in the line, and then I happen to bag my own groceries. Bring my own recyclable bags, hippie, and I put my shit in the recyclable bags on myself because the lady's ringing the shit goes faster than having her bag all my stuff. And then as I'm doing that, happens all like 1 out of 3 times. Somebody always pushes their shit up into the spot where I just got to walk around and stand to run my card in the next 30 seconds. So you know what I always say as they do it, and I let them stand there first. And I say, sir, I'm going to have to occupy that space that you are standing in the next 30 seconds. So I give them a weird, kind of awkward, slightly autistic kind of warning saying, hey, sir, I'm going to need to occupy that space that you are standing in within the next 30 seconds. And they look at me like, oh, shit, I better get at this guy's. Let me take 5 steps back.
For sure.
Yeah,
Eddie K wants to know if everyone should own a 12 string. Of course. And if they have one, they probably should restring it too.
12 string is one of the things that started my reverb and guitar selling journey. Charles. I had a 12-string Continental, which is an American-made Continental. People won't know it. It's probably $1,000 or something now. I didn't like it. I didn't really like 12 strings. I never really liked working on them. Anyway, I didn't like the guitar in general, and I sold it. And it was one of the things that I had kind of extra out of my dad's stash from all my shit that I could get rid of. That and an amp that I sold, another amp that I just didn't like. Should have probably held on to that anyway. You should have, but anyway, didn't love the sound of it, so I got rid of it because it was worth a bunch of money, and I didn't love the sound of it. So sold those two and started buying and selling all my original Strats. But this is before I worked at the guitar shop, and started setting those up and changing them around and selling them, and then I got the job at the guitar store. So 12 string kind of helped to start my guitar journey.
Excellent.
Getting rid of it is. So everybody should just get rid of their 12 string to get going on their guitar journey. I'm kidding. But sell it immediately.
For sure. Well, Search of Stone says his hobby cost him an arm and a leg. Yeah, it does. Well, here's the thing. Now you're at 1,000, Brian. So hopefully you'll get some kind of coming back because you're a quality channel to the point where people should be thankful for the fact that you're providing that kind of actual quality content. I thought about you actually today, Brian, because I was like, this guitar right here that I love so much, I play it a lot, and it's got it's from the same batch of necks where Ben got the neck that has a sour fret. So there's a couple of spots where I think that it just needs a little bit of love. So I was I think I'm going to work on this guitar. So maybe Brian I should do a fucking video on it. And I know that, but you know what stops me is I always think, how many hundreds of videos are there of somebody doing a quick fret level and crown and whatever? But whatever, they're not me doing it. And also I was going to put in the coil splits on a little toggle switch, two-way toggle. That way, this will have 6 tones instead of 3, which would be, twice as handy. So maybe I'll videotape that. There you go. Well, William Silva wants to know what's that red and black hanger back behind you?
The red and black.
Yeah, that Strat up there behind you.
This one, the one up over there, up here.
Yep,
that one. Well, that is actually a really cool guitar. That's the last of a set of powered Bartolinis with an onboard boost, a 10 dB boost that's on board. This is Candy Apple Sparkle Red hardtail with a Telecaster bridge on it, with just, the saddles adjusted all the way back for the scale length. And then kind of cool mother of pearl button tuners on it.
Nice.
Not bad. And a roller. I don't know why I decided I needed like a roller on this. It's a hardtail, but whatever. And then it's got a nice handmade bone nut. Really, really dark engineered. They called it rosewood, but it's engineered. It's like Ridge Light? Ridge Light. This one has been around so long that it's actually from the days when I was plecking them. So this one's been plecked a long time ago. And then it's got the onboard boost right here. And it also has a doesn't it have? I thought I had
a Rock Daddy.
Maybe it doesn't have a push pull. It just has the onboard boost. I had another one that had a push pull that did something, but they're the Bartolinis, single hum. And Ben has a set of these Bartolinis that are the non-boosted powered ones, and they sound so sweet when they're not boosted. Thanks, man. Thanks, Ian's Guitar Shack. I appreciate you. It's just a parts caster, but just a parts caster that's built by somebody who's built a lot of them.
Very nice.
Cool. That's
Well,
Presley.
Keith wants to know what your resolution is. Hello there, Keith.
Make my first neck.
He's going to make his first neck, and of course,
From
I'm
scratch.
going to try to do more fabric tops this year, and in general, just get my shit together.
I think, yeah, of course, right? I think also to do it with and make it super stable. To do some kind of thing where it's got 2 carbon fiber rods and it's since I'm doing it. And I do, so getting a nice router, I think, is going to open up doors for me to all kinds of cool, fun projects. Like, is your router, is it a table router or is it a handheld router?
My router is actually it's a handheld router, but it's attached to a table.
So you've got it mounted, and that's how you use
I
it.
I bought it as a kit, the routing table specific for that router.
So you use it specifically as a table set router. You don't use it as a plunge router.
No.
So that's what I want to do, is more plunge routing with templates and for neck pockets, pickup pockets, and control cavities.
Yeah.
And then and then also for the truss rod cavity and the if I did reinforcement carbon fiber rods. But it's all pretty easy if you just make the template and just bloop, 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 and just pull it back. Uh-oh! Look out.
Yeah, Tony's here. He wants to know why guitar nuts are called nuts anyway. It's odd.
I would say this to you. Have you ever met a guitar player that was normal? No, I'm sorry. We're all a little bit nuts, I guess. Yeah, it's funny because I teach little kids at School of Rock, and I'll say, this is the nut. I also teach them this. When you're doing a proper power chord, you show me that shape. You know what I mean? Don't do this, and don't do this to do a power chord. Do a real power chord, and if you're doing it, you can flip me off all day and get away with it.
Oh,
the kids love that. They're like, oh, and they come back the next week with perfect form. They're like, look at this, Presley, and they look like James Hetfield doing power chords, flipping me off. I'm like, great, this is great.
Oh boy.
So, stop being 720p before being 4K. Is that what my resolution is? What is my resolution?
This whole thing is broadcast at 720p. So.
Oh, the whole thing. So it's not my fault. It's Charles is 720p. You know what? Maybe the resolution should be to make a guitar with a P hole instead of the F hole, because I was telling Sarah about that, and she rolled her eyes like this. I thought her eyes actually were going to roll out of her head and down the hill, because I was like, you've seen, because I took the time to set it up properly. You've seen the holes on the F hole, and she's like, yeah. I was like, well, shouldn't we do a Presley with a P hole? And she just, it was great. It was perfect.
Well, Eddie Faye's got a question for you. He says, so Seth, are you going to build a neck carving jig for a router?
So yes, so that the router goes up and over and does this over a radius. So you set it in there. There's yes. It's just 2 bars basically that slide the router across and keep it at a constant pattern. And then you have to set the radius. I've seen people to make the jigs, but, probably the first couple ones that I do will not be done that way. They'll be done way more rudimentary. I'll do it progressively, probably with the router. I might even do my very first one like I did the first guitar by hand, with hand and chisel and drills, and that's it. To get an idea. If you do it that way, and even though it'll look all terrible and wonky and just awful, the next one that you do with the router is going to look so much better, because you've got that, you're using a better tool.
Tony's saying just get a pin router and you're in business.
Exactly. Yes. And I guess that's what I mean when I say a plunge router, yes, a pin router that you can they have the ones now, you can just hit the button. I have one at the school that I get to use. You just Boop, goes down a little bit, and boop, and go down a little bit, and it tells you exactly how far down you've gone on the little meter. And you're like, oh, I guess this one I got to go to 6.25, and you just keep going down until it's 6.25, and then you're good. Especially if you have a good. I routed a couple of things, quote unquote, freehand, without an actual routing jig, just by setting up my tolerances to the edge. I knew that the bit would go this far if I clamped down a piece of wood, stopping the whole router. And I would just come down to that line and clear that edge out. And then I set it up for each angle. And it worked perfectly. I'll show it off when I bring it home. It's up.
Oh, and Tony's saying, actually, a pin router is not the same as a plunge router.
So what's you mean? Is a pin router the one that is stationary and comes down from the top? And you can it's just a router that's like a table router, but the opposite way?
You know what? Best way to tell you what a pin router is, go over to Texas Toast.
It's basically it's a drill press that has a router bit, pretty much, that just comes down and you move the guitar like, and then it goes up, and then yes, that would be great. But that's a big ass tool that I don't even have room for in my garage. You know what I do have room for? A little case with a handheld DeWalt that'll get me pretty fucking far. But I hear you. A pin router would be, you know who? Joe Zahn offered me up a pin router because he upgraded his. I probably could have bought one for but then I'm running a bunch of industrial equipment in my garage to build a body every, God knows how often. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not like I'm doing it all the time yet, but I'll get there. Mm-hmm. It has a pin in it so you can copy anything. Yep. Oh, so it's just you
use the pen as a guide.
Pin it to a template and then just run it. I get it. Yeah, you pin it to a template and then you can just run it. Yep, it's big. I've seen them. Now I know what you're talking. It's like a big ass drill press, but maybe even bigger because it has to be very strong, and the bit comes up and down this way. But what I'm talking about is the same thing too, but it's a handheld unit, much smaller. But they're cool because you get a vacuum hooked up to it and you can watch exactly what you're doing. And it's way more small time. But that's what I'm doing because I'm enjoying. I love woodworking, like getting rid of wood and like shaping it, and I enjoy that a lot. So.
Oh, this isn't fair, Bo. So Bo he found a Guild F512 12-string. Think it will become a resident at Bo's camp.
Nice. Yeah, just have it well set up, put really good long-lasting strings on it. You're good to go, man. Those guilds are like freaking rock solid. If they're done right and set up right, they can be rock solid.
Absolutely love guilds.
Some old Korean Epiphone acoustics, 12 strings that I set up back in the day. Man, I set those things up and they were like as good as very expensive guitars. And it might have just been a fluke couple of them, but it was more than a couple of them. I remember just thinking, damn, these fucking, if I was going to get an old 12 string, I get like a 90s Korean Epiphone. Or, go check some out and see if they were good.
Yeah, William says those Guild 12 strings are top notch for sure.
Mm-hmm. I was doing Guitar Safari, just, I'm off. I had some time to just look at the internet and shit. So there are some good Guild acoustics for sale that were not like overpriced. They were a good deal. I was just like, again, I like to look, but I don't like to go out and always buy because I'm not trying to flip. And I'm just not trying to be a guitar hoarder either. But you know what? Actually, hopefully Tony's still here. I want to show Tony this guitar and see if he likes. Charles, I know you said you didn't like this thing on the back, or now do you change your mind? You think you like the thing on the back?
I don't really care. I prefer to have ferrules than those.
So instead of, I know I got to set my intonation better on that, But instead of just having ferrules, Tony, if the one piece pops in, I guess Ben had said that G&L did it back in the day, which is kind of a new news. I guess I've never really seen it, but I saw it and I was like, it's a 3-bolt. Might as well. And I'm going to put the electronics in the back cavity so that the front will not have any. It'll have no knobs at all. It'll be knobless.
Well, William De Silva says he's got a buddy that had a Guild acoustic and that he's had since the 80s. He broke the neck, repaired it, and now it plays even better. It plays like it's an electric.
Again with the telly bridge, Charles. I don't know.
Let's get a question for you. What is your advice on adjusting a humbucker pickup height to improve the guitar's sound quality?
This thing's like just sounds so solid. I think it's partly because I don't know. I hate saying the sustain thing, but it is very, what would be neat is if this metal thing bolted up and connected to the bridge, like through it. Like if those two bolted together, but then it's basically like a trim. Anyway, I just thought it was cool. It just wasn't the same old normal.
If you thought about, countersinking that so that stop piece is flush with the body.
I could do that with the router, but I'd have to get a little bit, tricky and get good with the router. But yes, that would be something that would be fun to learn. I would practice that like 4 times on a 2x4 before I do it on a finished, because the lip isn't very big. You wouldn't have much room to screw it up. But yeah, that would be cool if you countersunk that and had it perfectly flat. But for this one, shoot. That really is not going to bother you at all, because this one for me is going to be kind of almost like a sitting guitar anyway, because I'm going to have or set it and forget it, because I'm going to have the controls back here in the cavity I might have it be open all the time, but I might make it to where you can put a cover over it too. Like you could set it and then you could put a cover over it, and it'll just have 0 controls, but it'll just be set it and forget it. I don't know why. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you, Tony. It's one of those projects, right? It's a wintertime project. You missed a little bit earlier. I was pulling out. I'm doing a set neck parlor style 2P90. It's a hand rubbed oil flame top, mahogany body, but with a little maple flame veneer on it, and it looks pretty damn good for the kit. It's a kit guitar, which is something I've been enjoying, along with learning how to build and route my own bodies, and then this year build my own necks from scratch, put my own fretboard on there, put my own frets in, do the fret job, do everything from scratch myself. And then then I feel like you're on your way to building those. Then you know what then it is, Charles? Then it's back to fucking square one is what it is. Because then the first one's gonna probably be a hot mess. Be a hunk of crap. But not totally, because I've been doing guitars for a long time, but compared to what the 100th one will be. Yeah. Doing hand done single guitars. Like I have one of your first cloth wraps, you know what I mean? Yep. So we could look at that versus one of your most recent ones, and you would say, oh my God, yes, I've come a long way. And all the things.
There's no comparison.
Yeah. But here's the thing. The people that have those earlier guitars with those flaws and those, whatever they are, that's actually really cool, because they're a big part of your journey, because they got to you before you perfected it, or as you're perfecting it.
Right.
And so that guitar actually has a little bit more soul than the 1000th guitar, which still has soul because you did it by hand, but it has a little less because you've gotten better and you perfected it. And it's more of a quicker process, and you didn't frustrate with it. As a guitar that gets your frustration really is one that you earned.
Well, Seth, I can't believe it, but it is 9 o'clock. It is literally 9 o'clock.
No, it's not. It's
Charles,
7.
It's
It's
Charles,
7 o'clock, Charles.
next.
7 o'clock. Don't even worry about it. It's only 7 o'clock, so don't even worry about it. We're not bothering anybody. Hang out. No, I know. I get it. Yeah, I know. I get it.
But you sounds like you got an awesome year planned.
Wait, are you in Mountain Time or Central Time?
Cool.
You're Central Time.
I'm Central.
Because mountains aren't just funny, Charles. They are hilarious.
Don't know what to do with that.
Well, we can end the night. That was a good joke.
Come on, people, Charles and me, about to take you on guitar safari. So turn on your computer, turn on your phone, 'cause it's about to go down. One volume, one tone. Yeah, Charles and me, we're about to take you on guitar safari. Turn on your computer, turn on your phone, 'cause it's about to go down.